Um, but there were some pictures that he showed and some videos of lynchings and um, black men being set on fire. And in one of the lynchings, he talked about how they kept pulling the guy up, out of the fire to prolong his life. Um, and then one of the men came out of the crowd and castrated him. And there were thousands of white people, um, with their children, and all gathered to watch another human being. I don't care if it was an animal. Like to watch someone suffer and be burned and mutilated, and to prolong that person's life solely so that you can like elongate their suffering. And it's like it is insanity, but like it doesn't seem real. It doesn't seem real. And I think of, you know I think back in the 80s, or I think it was the early 90s, with the Rodney King beating. Um, and I remember it being such an uproar and rioting, and um, you know, it was one of the biggest things of my time, my generation. Um, and then I think of where we're at right now, and right now there's Rodney King on a daily basis. Now it's every day there's a video of cops brutalizing and attacking a black man. So we've gone backwards. Like, we've gone backwards. Now, when we see a video, if a cop kills a black man, you barely even hear it on the news anymore. It's not even news. It doesn't even make news. It's just like an everyday occurrence, and it's just like it's okay. It's just something that we as a society have just accepted as a part of life now. This is sick. It's sick, people. Like, I'm kind of freaking out because there was a spider on my wall. I'm not really afraid of spiders, but anyways. Um I'm wondering, like, when my son is a grown up, a man, he's 9 now, so he has, 9 more years, and he's an adult, and he's in society, and I can't protect him. And if we're going backwards, if killing an unarmed black man has become a daily occurrence and something that we're not even alerted about. It's not even anything big. People aren't surprised. There's not even marches for them anymore. It just seems like it's so normal and it's so okay. Then what is it gonna be like? Are we gonna be in concentration camps by the time, within 9 years? Are we gonna be um in some kind of like, I don't know. Like, I don't, is it gonna be just open season, go hunt black men, and you get paid for it? Or I'm right now, I am so mad. Like, I'm so pissed off. And I'm at the point right now where I don't even care if I die, or if we go to war, or I care if we don't fight. I care if we don't fight. I care if we sit idly by and allow these terrorists to kill us. Like, that pisses me off. It pisses me off. I'm like so mad right now. We can't allow this to continue. It has to stop. Like, I don't understand where people think this is going to go. It's not gonna just end. It's not. Like, it seems like black people are in this mindset of they don't want to fight. We don't want guns. We don't, I mentioned to I think it's just like one of my sisters, and I said black people need to, to own guns, but not just own guns, but know how to properly use them. And my mother and my sister are just like, oh no, their first response of having a gun is oh no. And these white supremacist terrorists have guns. They have guns, and they don't care about killing you. Killing you is the same as like stepping on a bug. And if we're gonna sit there and act like, oh my gosh, I can't kill a white person, I can't defend myself, if it goes to that level, then we're all just gonna die. Then it's like, then we're gonna end up in somebody's gas chamber. We don't have that many options right now. That's the thing. Like, we are sitting around like we have all these options. We have these options of peace, or options to just coincide and coexist with these white supremacist terrorists. We don't have that option. They're not giving us that option. That's like me going to your house and kicking in your door and holding a gun to your head, or giving you a gun and I have a gun, and I'm gonna kill you if you don't kill me. And that's like saying, no, I'm not gonna kill you. Let's talk about it instead. Or you're gonna be dead by the time that comes out of your mouth, because that's not an option. Like, that isn't an option anymore. Peacefully marching isn't an option anymore. It's not an option. Praying for these devils while they kill us is no longer an option. That's what we're not getting. And I'm so frustrated because on one hand you hear white people describing black people as violent and thugs and criminals and just, violent. Where's the violence if you won't even defend yourself? Where's the thugs? Where's the gangs when we're dying and being shot on the streets? So I'm giving these okay, so are there gangs? Are there thugs? Where are these violent black men with all this rage, and where are they? And now we have these fake news stories about black men hunting white men. Well, if that were true, that would be great, but it's not. It's just a ploy to have like an excuse and a reason to continue to kill us. And if we don't see that, then like are we blind? Are we like I just I don't get it. I don't. And I wish that black people were more like white people portray them to be. Because we're portrayed to be, so violent and scary and, gangsters and thugs. But that's not what I see. That's not the reality. But I'm really wondering, like, honestly, I'm like, what is in black people's heads? What is wrong with us to the point where we refuse to defend ourselves? Like, what's really going on where you can have, one white supremacist terrorist cop that can go and torment, 20 or 30 or 40 black men. I think of these prison systems and where there's hundreds of black men. These are, big, these are supposed to be the baddest black men, so scary that we have to have them in prison. And yet the prisons aren't overthrown. There's like 100 black men to one guard and nothing. They're not violent. They're not overturning the prisons. They're not killing these white terrorists. They're not doing any of this. So the actions of black men does not fit the narrative of white men. And we see all these lies, and we see all of the deceit, and we see all of the vicious attacks on ourselves and on our community. We see it, but we don't do anything about it. And somehow in our brains, like, we either feel like, oh, we're just staying positive, or we're just letting God handle it. Okay, so do we not realize the last 400 years? Like, how many black people have to die before we realize that it's us that need to do something? Maybe God's waiting for us to do something. Like, did we ever think about that? Maybe God has given us the ability to save ourselves, but we refuse to see it and we refuse to use it. We just want to sit there. Because I don't care what God you believe in. I mean, I don't subscribe to any religion, but I do believe that if you're put here on earth and you have a life, you're already given everything you need to survive that life. I know for a fact that we have everything we need to defend ourselves against these white supremacist terrorists. We just refuse to do it. So as long as you sit idly by and allow someone to kill you, you might as well be committing suicide. So if you believe in the Bible and in a religion, then you believe that if you commit suicide, you go to hell. Okay? That is in any religion. You cannot commit suicide. Okay? But we're committing suicide by not doing anything, by just sitting. That's committing suicide. That's like taking a chair and sitting in the middle of the highway. You're gonna die. That's committing suicide. What we're doing by doing nothing is committing suicide. So all of those Christians that want to sit there and say, I'm waiting for God to do something. I'm praying, Jesus is going to get us out of this. No, you're committing suicide. That's what you're doing. You're sitting there and you're letting yourself get killed. This has to, like, this is sick. And if it takes people, if you need to go back and look at history and look at the history of black people and how we got here and slavery and Jim Crow, and just look at all of that. If you need to, like, I have so much anger and I hate cussing, and I'm really trying really, really, really hard not to say cuss words, but I'm like so freaking frustrated because if we need to go back and look at history to see how much, where we can, if these people have stolen people from a country and enslaved them and beat them and raped them and burned them, there is nothing that they will not do. Like, what are we waiting for? Like, you have all the knowledge. You have all the information. We have all the information that we need. Okay? So what's going on? Like, I'm perplexed. I'm confused. I'm tired. I don't know. If you guys can please tell me, like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, seriously, what the fuck are we doing? Because there is no good end in sight on the, at the rate we're going. There's nothing. We might as well just kill ourselves, because I would rather take my own life than allow some disgusting white supremacist devil to take it. But I don't believe that we're there. I don't think that we're there. I think that we have an opportunity to save ourselves, to stand up for ourselves, to take a stand to these white supremacist devils and say, you know what, we're done. We're done. We're done with your hate, your bigotry, your evil, disgusting terrorist ways. We are done with it. I'm done. We should not spend our entire existence fighting because we have brown skin. Why am I fighting? Why am I spending my entire life trying to justify my right to live and to be, just to exist because I'm melanated. We are we are trying to prove ourselves to the lowest of human race. Do we not get that? To the lowest of human race. And we're begging them to allow us to live. Like, this makes no sense at all. None. Like, I can't even tell you how much it makes no sense. I don't spend my days worried about what white people are doing, usually. Like, that's not my life. That's not black people. We're not fixated on what you're doing. Right now, it's very important for black people to know what white people are doing. We need to know what they're doing right now. We have to know what they're up to, because you have to know your enemy. You have to. Okay? I'm not going to live in an existence where my child, when he's an adult, he has to walk around and wonder if he's going to be shot because of the color of his skin. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do it. I don't know if you guys want to do it, but I'm not going to. Like, I'm done with all these crazy white supremacists. They're getting bold. They're doing crazy things. I had, I think it was yesterday, I'm like driving in my car and this white dude drives on the side of me, and he's like angry. I think my window was rolled down a little bit, but it wasn't really down, so I don't know what he was saying. And then he like cut me off, and I'm still not really paying that much attention to him, because like I'm just like, okay, I didn't cut him off or anything like that, so I don't know what his problem is. And so he like cuts over again. He follows me for like a good 5 or 10 minutes, and then he pulls on the side of me, and he like covers his face with some kind of bandana up to here. I don't know what his plans were, but I was already at my location, so I turned into an apartment complex, and he didn't follow me in there. But these white supremacists are insane. Like, they're crazy. So if we don't carry guns, like, we need to carry them on our person, because they're being bold. And I'm not gonna have some, crazy white supremacist. I have this little axe that's in my car. It's like that, with like a blade on it. It's about that big. But it's like, I don't want to even allow them to get that close to me, like close enough to whack them with an axe. I'm saying, for my safety, if you are an angry white man and you are coming up to me, I need to shoot you. I need to do that, because my life depends on it. And I have the right to protect my life. And I will protect my life. Okay? We have that right, and we need to start doing it. They're not going to wake up and say, okay, let's live peaceful with the black people. They're not going to do that. Like, get it out of your head. Let this be the last day you pray for. It's not going to freaking happen. It's not going to happen. It's not. It's just not. The same as you're not going to wake up and millions of dollars is going to be just magically sitting on your bed. Like, that's just not going to happen. It will be great, but it's not going to happen. So, like, why are we waiting for something that history has shown us isn't going to happen? Our entire lives, we've seen it's not going to happen. As far as back as we can read in books and magazines and stories, that it isn't happening and that it's not going to happen. And yet still somewhere in our heads, it's like, it's going to happen. You know, after that one more black person die, then it'll happen. All it takes is just that one more cop kills another black person. Like, really? I can't. And I'm sitting here and the spider done crawled in a crack somewhere. Now I think he's gonna be in my scarves. I don't even know. I'm just messed up. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Anyways, I'm gonna go to sleep. But thank you guys for watching my rant, and yeah, everyone have a good night.